So a video caught my eye today. It's a video called Why Rappers Love Kanye West and Hate Drake. I don't know if this is true. I don't know if it's true at all. But we'll see. We'll watch this. We'll see what he has to say. I'm wondering if this is true. Video caught my eye, so let's watch it. Let's see what he has to say.
In a time where Drake's status as a rapper is being put into question by hip-hop legends, meanwhile, every hip-hop artist is trying to get a feature on Kanye's upcoming album, Vultures. It has never been more clear that despite all of the controversy that has surrounded his name, rappers still love Kanye West and will do just about anything to work with him. Meanwhile, most hip-hop artists secretly hate Drake, but the reason why this is will definitely shock you. Now, when it comes to Kanye West and Drake, while these two artists are often compared to one another on the surface, when you look at what they represent, they could not be more different, and this hasn't been reflected better than with what has occurred most recently around the two. Now, on the side of Drake, he was at the center of the internet after legendary New York MC Mos Def said that he does not consider him to be a rapper, but instead a pop artist, and while
I really don't like that narrative. I don't like the pop artist narrative about Drake. And the reason why I don't like it is because it's a clear sign of envy. I don't know who in the fuck that's been paying attention to hip hop for the last 14 years could possibly say this, but if you say this and you claim to be a real hip hop fan, you are a liar. Trying to act like Drake is Pitbull, Flow Rida, you're in denial. You're delusional. You are a liar. The reality of the situation is that I know it's hard for a lot of y'all to accept. I don't know why, but Drake is the most successful rapper ever. And yes, Drake is a rapper. He got signed by Young Money Cash Money for being a rapper. He wrote for Dr. Dre. Drake has written for Kanye. Drake is a rapper. The majority of his songs are rap songs. The majority of his hits are rap songs. But Drake is also a musician. And this is my thing. I've noticed that a lot of you niggas that sit there and say Drake is not a rapper, he's a pop star. It goes to show how many of you are so boxed into hip hop. You're not really music lovers or musicians. You just love rap. You're stuck in this box. Drake is not just a rapper, but he's also a musician. He enjoys music, and like I would expect from any musician, they're gonna want to dabble in other genres. They're gonna want to make other sounds. They're not gonna want to sit there and make boom bap rap albums for the end of to the end of time. That's boring. That's who wants to. Number one, you'll get bored of it, and number two, the rapper themselves will be bored of it as well. Why would you want to make predictable music until the end of time? Furthermore, most of Drake's pop anthems still sound better than most pop songs. It's not like this nigga dropped "Call Me Maybe." Like what are we talking about? Passion Fruit was an amazing song. One Dance was a good song. Hotline Bling. I love Hotline Bling. These are anthems that will be remembered forever. Like if you were born in the 90s or early 2000s, Drake's entire run is nostalgia for all of us. Even the niggas that hate Drake will be playing his music in their 30s and 40s at cookouts, weddings, all of that. So for us to sit here and play this game of Drake's not a rapper, he's really a pop star, it's like, yeah, but you're still gonna play Legend, Energy, Nonstop, Do Not Disturb, Tuscan Leather, Pound Cake, Paris Morton Music 2, I'm on. Like, you're gonna still play these songs. You can act like the niggas Pitbull if you want, but we know what's in almost every rap fan's fucking playlist, bro. Some of Drake's most rappy songs are in all of our playlists.
I'm not here to say that what Mos Def said is right. What matters is that while some fans defended Drake, most of everybody else was just laughing and making memes, and when it comes to a comment like this, it's merely another moment in a long-running series of rappers disrespecting Drake. Meanwhile, with Kanye West, something much different is going on around him. Now with Ye, despite the storm of negative press he still gets from mainstream media outlets and all of the pushback the music industry at large has given him about releasing a new album, it seems like nearly every rapper in the game has been rushing to work with him as he prepares to release his upcoming project, Vultures. From one of the biggest collaborators in the rap scene, Ty Dolla $ign, making this a joint album between him and Ye, to people who formerly had beef with Kanye like Kid Cudi making up with him. It seems like no matter what your status is in hip-hop, rappers will do anything to even get the chance to work with Kanye and be on one of his albums. Meanwhile, Drake continues to get disrespected even by producers like Metro Boomin, and the reason why this comes down to the fundamental factors that differentiate Ye and Drake in the hip-hop.
Hold on a second. So let me get this straight. All Kanye West got to do is surround himself with a bunch of rappers and make up with Kid Cudi, and now all of a sudden everybody's doing tricks on it and everybody wants to work with Ye. Am I getting this right? Am I getting this right? All Kanye West has to do is surround himself with a bunch of rappers on a stage in Dubai, end his beef with Kid Cudi, and you're convinced that everybody wants to work with Ye and everyone is just fed up and angry at Drake because Metro Boomin has problems with Drake and because old heads don't like Drake. Make this make sense. Make this make sense. Simple hip-hop history would explain to you why Kanye West is more loved by old heads than Drake. Kanye West came up under that Rockefeller family. He came under that camp. He's cool with all of those guys, Swiss Beats and all of these dudes. And, you know, he's cool with all those old heads. He came into the industry at a time where a lot of those guys were still around. He worked with them. He knows them. Drake came into the game in 2009 and reached the uppermost, you know, the uppermost position of dominance in hip hop around 2014, 2015, by the time most of these old heads had fallen off. It was too late for them. It was over for them. Oh, by the way, Drake also made up with Kid Cudi. So, like, what are we talking about? Furthermore, Metro Boomin's beef with Drake is personal. This is the same Kanye West, by the way, that had beef with Mike Dean, Kid Cudi, Pusha T. Like, Kanye West repetitively falls out with people in his inner circle all the time. So it's really funny to me that this guy is sitting here saying the reason why people love Kanye so much more, look at all the people he's working with. Look at him making up with Kid Cudi. This nigga beef with Kid Cudi. Pusha T. This man has fallen out with so many. Mike Dean, he done fell out with so many people in his inner circle. It blows my mind that anybody could sit there and act like Kanye is just so beloved to such an insane extent. Kanye at this point is not as beloved as people make him out to be, in my opinion. I think Kanye is just a commodity for these guys. I do. Kanye is so erratic and so wild. These rappers don't expect much from him besides a good collab, some good music, but that's it. They know not to expect too much from Ye. This is the same guy that records entire albums and then scraps them. Have niggas in the studio on Pro Tools for 30 hours straight and then say, oh yeah, by the way, we're not dropping the album. Bye.
Pop world as a whole. Now, when you see the listening events Kanye has had so far for Vultures and see all of the different rappers that have stood on stage alongside him and featured on the previewed tracks off the album, from Kodak Black to Freddie Gibbs all the way to Kid Cudi, from the differing styles, popularity...
Why did he say all the way to Kid Cudi as if Kanye and Cudi haven't been like this for the last decade and a half? Like, why are we acting like Kanye and Cudi haven't been like this since forever? Why are we acting like somehow Cudi was this far off artist that we never thought would ever work with Kanye, but somehow Kanye managed to pull it off? Like, it's not impressive at all. Frankly, it's just not impressive to me. I'm just saying, like, it's just not impressive. Like, Kanye and Cudi already know each other. Furthermore, you see Lil Durk on that stage. Drake that already worked with Lil Durk. Like, why are we acting like Drake couldn't work with these guys if he wanted to? Furthermore, just because you surround yourself with a bunch of people for a joint album doesn't mean anything, like, at all. It doesn't mean you should be loved more or hated. It's just a choice. Drake has worked with far more artists than Ye. It's just that Drake, for whatever reason, has not decided to bring them all on stage with him to do like a massive joint album, which most rappers don't do. So it's like, it's not like Drake is like this outlier asshole that won't work with people. I would venture to argue Drake has done more, collaborations, both popular and miscellaneous, than Kanye. I've seen Drake on like random, like Hispanic. I'm like, what the fuck is Drake? I'm listening to Hispanic music. I hear Drake's voice. I'm like, what is this nigga doing here? I'm like, when did he even drop this song? Kanye, for the most part, features have never been his thing in the last like 8-9 years. He's been missing from most miscellaneous and popular features for a while now. What are we talking about? Does Drake have to bring all these niggas on stage at the same time and make a big ass collaboration album for him to receive the same like love? Like, I'm not understanding what's going on here.
levels and respective places these artists are all at in their careers. You can see that while many rappers in the industry today only work with the same circle of artists who are hot, Kanye does not limit himself by what has sadly become the industry standard, and this is the first reason why rappers don't just appreciate, but actually need his presence more than ever. Now don't get me wrong, many of Kanye's closest collaborators have also worked alongside Drake, but when teaming up with the OVO leader, for most of these artists, these songs feel like more of a brand partnership that will definitely boost your streaming numbers for some time, but won't put you in a better place long term. Meanwhile, working with Kanye, it's something that can truly change your career forever. I mean, just look at some of Ye's most renowned collaborations in recent years. Whether it was producing Pusha T's Grammy-nominated albums Daytona and It's Almost Dry, or executive producing Playboi Carti's Whole Lotta Red. When Kanye West teams up with an artist, the push it gives them can be career or even genre-changing, but with Drake, while collabing with him will give you a big moment in the limelight, that's for sure, it doesn't do much else in the grand scheme of it all. Just compare artists.
But Daytona as an album was, I mean, I heard it was good, but let's not act like Pusha T's defining moment of his career was Daytona. The career defining moment for Pusha T was beefing with Drake. So let's just let's not even, that's done. I'm not even I'm throwing that argument away. It's done. Pusha T's most defining moment of his career was beefing with Aubrey Graham. The end. Whole Lotta Red, that wasn't some career defining moment. It was highly anticipated, but that wasn't some classic ass album. Playboi Carti's music is predictable. Incredibly predictable. Why are we acting like Whole Lotta Red was some groundbreaking hip hop album? It wasn't. Why are we acting like Daytona was some groundbreaking hip hop album? It wasn't. The story of Adidon was groundbreaking. It gave Drake a thrashing. It fucked Drake up pretty bad. Did some serious damage to Drake. But the most career-defining moment of Pusha T's career was not Daytona being produced by Ye. It was the story of Adidon being directed toward Drake. Let's not rewrite history for the sake of bigging up Ye and trying to derail Drake, okay? There's plenty of things you could criticize both of these guys for, but let's not rewrite hip-hop history for the sake of trying to make a point.
Kanye has took the time to work with and really helped develop over the years, whether it was Kid Cudi, Travis Scott, Playboi Carti, or so many others. All of these rappers were able to establish themselves and hone what would become their defining traits, and this is why to this day, even an artist as big as Travis Scott built an entire album like his most recent record, Utopia, around the beats and reference tracks that Ye gave him. When you look at rappers who Drake has worked with closely over the years, while together him and artists like Lil Baby or even 21 Savage have had massive songs or even albums, he never has pushed these artists out of their comfort zone, and as a result, they get criticized by the larger hip-hop world for continuing to rely on the same things, and this is a direct result of the way Drake collabs with most rap.
But this just isn't true though. Explain to me when Travis Scott was pushed out of his comfort zone. Travis Scott's music is predictable. Playboi Carti's music, predictable. Kid Cudi's music, I don't even know when the last time he dropped was. Kid Cudi is an inconsistent artist. Excuse me, inconsistent artist. Kid Cudi never drops. Hello? You can't just throw these names in the air and say, well, Kanye executive produced their albums, therefore he pushed them out of their comfort. What are you talking about? What are we talking about? I can tell you who did push someone out of their comfort zone. This light-skinned nigga right here, Drake. He pushed 21 out of his comfort zone on Her Loss. 21 sang on that album. He sang. This man was singing on that album and he rapped on a boom bap beat. He gave us 3am in Glenwood. Drake had that man singing on Hours in Silence, on Spin About You. Drake had that man making club anthems on Rich Flag. Drake took 21 and pushed 21 even further toward being a much more versatile artist. The idea that Kanye West has made these rappers more versatile, more complex in their approach to music, diversified their sound, that's not true. Playboi Carti is still predictable. Travis Scott, still predictable. Kid Cudi, non-existent. Let's not act like Kanye West is somehow turning these artists into something great. Kid Cudi? No. Cudi, I don't know where he's been. Maybe he writes for people. I don't know what he's up to. But his music has not been impactful at all. We play pretend as a culture. Oh, Kid Cudi, oh my God, Kid Cudi. Stop. Stop. Kid Cudi has been one of the most inactive, inconsistent artists in hip-hop history. Stop trying to compare him to Drake. Stop trying to compare him to Kanye. It's not the same. It will never be the same. Kid Cudi made that choice of his own free will. 2008 was a while ago. 14 to 15 years ago. Kid Cudi had his time. He had his time. He chose not to pursue it to the same extent that Kanye did, Drake did, even Cardi, or Travis Scott. The idea that Kid Cudi's even, why is he even in this conversation? Then you talk about Travis Scott and Playboy Cardi as if these are artists that are pushing themselves out of their own comfort zone. They're not. They're not. And to sit there and act like, well, because Ye pushes these artists out of their comfort zone, that's why we as a hip-hop culture, that's why we love him. Drake has pushed himself out of his own comfort zone so many times. What more do y'all want? This man is giving y'all R&B, hip-hop, Afro beats, drill music, reggaeton music. This man is giving y'all so many different genres of music. What more do you want? If stepping out of one's comfort zone is what makes hip-hop revere a particular artist, if that's what endears us to a certain artist, why is it that we as a culture, at least on the internet, have nothing but the utmost disrespect for Drake? Let's not use this argument. Let's find a new one because it don't hold up.
Rappers that he takes under his wing. When you look at Drake's most recent album, For All the Dogs, and see arguably the two most viral tracks on the record in IDGAF with Yeet and Rich Baby Daddy with Sexy Red, you can see everything you need to know about why the culture has such an affinity to Kanye while increasingly turning on Drake. Now,
so because Drake hops on a song with Sexy Red and Yeet, and comes into their space, comes into their territory, comes into their style and says, okay, you know what? Instead of me derailing this song and hijacking it and making it my song featuring you in the literal sense, in the sense of like the people only want to hear my part, what I will do instead is come into your style, your sound, and work with you. I'm going to come into your style and I'm going to acclimate to what you have going on. So instead of me invalidating your sound and trying to hog it for myself, I'm going to feature with you. Not only am I going to feature with you and give you, the boost of me even just being on your song, I'm going to make sure that I come into your style. That way, these people feel even more inclined to listen to your music because I gave it the go-ahead. I jumped in on it. I joined in. I decided this was cool enough for me, the biggest rapper of all time, to say, you know what, this is so cool, I want to be a part of it. There is a charm to that as well. The problem is, y'all either A, can't see it, or B, refuse to see it. But the idea that Drake has to constantly pull them away from what they like to do and make them do something different for hip-hop to respect him is weird. Why? Why does Sexy Red have to sound different all the time for us to like Drake? Drake needs to make Sexy Red sound like a completely different artist for us to respect him? Why? Why is that necessary? Why can't he step into her style, validate it, give it the energy and the strength that it needs to carry her career? And then as she grows as an artist, she obviously needs to branch out toward different sounds and styles. She probably won't because most rappers don't. But why does Drake have to do this for us to like him? I don't think Kanye or Drake have to do any of these things. But for us to sit there and say, well, the reason why hip-hop doesn't revere Drake as much is because he didn't force Yeet and Sexy Red out of their comfort zones. What are y'all talking about? What are y'all talking about?
now on these tracks, Drake didn't push either of these artists out of their comfort zone, but instead, he let them take the lead on these songs while all he did was his own impression of what made these artists hot enough for Drake to want to work with them in the first place. This is why the viral meme of Drake piggybacking off of Yeet works so well, because this is what actually happened on the song. When you compare this to Ye tracks like Off...
So Drake deciding to validate Yeet's style and give it life and energy is piggybacking, when Drake is more than capable of just ignoring these artists and never listening to them, never giving them the time of day, never collaborating with them ever. Drake could easily act like these niggas don't, like, y'all do realize Drake has done more collaborations than Ye in recent times. Like, Drake has been much more collaborative with the next generation of rappers than Kanye West has. This is a fact. This whole Kanye West is working with so many people. This is a recent thing. Do not act like he's been up to this for the last 5 to 6 or 7 years. He has not. Drake has been collaborative is an understatement. Why are we making shit up to try to make it seem like Drake isn't worth the respect that he honestly has earned? I love Ye. I respect Ye. I revere Ye. But y'all can't deny Drake. Y'all gotta stop trying to deny Drake and be grateful and embrace him, because we're not getting another Drake, bro. Like, I'm telling y'all, bro. It ain't no round 2. Ain't no redos. Ain't no none of that. I'm telling y'all right now, y'all been praying and hoping to God that somebody will replace Aubrey, and it's not going to happen. Like, I'm just telling you right now, it's never going to happen. Let that shit go. Please let it go. It's never going to happen. This whole Drake piggybacked off of them. Why can't Drake reaffirm their sound? Why does Drake have to invalidate their sound and say, no, you need to sound like this? Why? Why can't he sit there and say, you know what? I'm going to validate this. I'm going to give it more strength and more push. This style is good. I'm going to reinforce it. I don't understand the problem here. Like, I really don't get it.
The grid, where you can see how Kanye challenged Cardi to set the tone for such a multi-layered and commanding banger, and had 504 rap like he never has, or look at any of the tracks that Ye helped Travis Scott with on Utopia that pushed him into more experimental territory. The difference in what these artists are able to accomplish is night and day, because ultimately, when you work with Kanye, you are working alongside somebody who prioritizes creativity over everything. Meanwhile, with Drake, all he's trying to do is add another viral moment to his portfolio. Now again, when it comes to Drake and the rappers he works with, he only uses the hottest talent out to benefit his own records while never giving them the means to follow in his footsteps, and this is why rappers like Lil Baby or even Jack Harlow plateaued so hard after being deemed as somebody who could be the next face of hip-hop. Now this becomes such a problem in the rap world today because it has made it near impossible for some of the most talented but unappreciated rappers in the game to get heard on a stage that can show the larger world what they are missing. And while Drake has never really put rappers on his albums and given features to names who are not trending or surging into the industry.
This is a lie. This is a lie. Why are we acting like Drake has not grabbed? Like, bro, I discovered a song not too long ago called Who Told You by J Hus and Drake. It's an Afrobeat song. I never knew who J Hus was. Bro. Drake has given so many artists who no one knows the limelight, the shine, Pressa. It boggles my mind. Like, I love McConan, Pressa, J Hus. Like, the idea that Drake won't work with you unless you're already well known. Drake gave Look Alive to Block Boy JB. Y'all do know that, right? Drake gave that song to him. DJ Khaled is one of the most renowned, loved, recognizable voices in hip-hop. Drake gave I'm On One to DJ Khaled. I said I'm on one. He gave that to him. Drake played the song for Khaled. Khaled said, yo, I need this song. Can you give it to me? I want to get Ross and Wayne on the song. Please, I got a vision for it. I can feel it. It's going to be a hit. Please give it to me. I got a vision for it. For whatever reason, Drake said yes, gave it to him, became one of the biggest hits in hip-hop history. Everyone knows and loves I'm On One. DJ Khaled was known at that time. He had All I Do Is Win and, I'm So Hood and these other songs before. But I'm On One solidified Khaled forever. Drake gave it to the nigga, and Khaled doesn't even produce beats. Khaled don't even got vocals, and Drake gave it to him. The idea that somehow or another Drake isn't putting people in position is a lie. The man gave Block Boy JB a whole song that Block Boy JB probably didn't even fucking deserve. Why are we acting like you have to be some B-list or A-list rapper for Drake to work with you? That's abundantly clear to be not true. Why can't y'all just say, I don't like Drake? Just say that. It's okay to not like him. No one's obligated to like anybody. But just say, I don't like Drake. Just say that. Simple. Nothing like all of these like rationalizations. Well, Drake, he just won't work with an artist unless they're industry certified. That's just not true. We know that's not true. We know this is not true. He's recruited plenty of artists that no one knows into OVO. That's not true. The Weeknd was discovered by Drake's camp. The idea that somehow or another Drake won't fuck with you unless he already knows how established you are is not true. Why are we playing this game? The idea that Kanye will just work with any artist no matter what is also not true. The reality is a lot of those people on that stage with Ye, they're already well-known artists. Some of them are underground, but Drake has plucked artists from God knows fucking what. Sometimes I'm like, where is this nigga finding these people? He plucks them out of nowhere, gives them a song, or features on their song, and blesses them. Kanye, for the majority, like for the last half a decade, 8-9 years, has not been doing this, bro. Why are we trying to act like Drake and Ye have been contributing to the same levels? They have not.
Especially recently, Kanye has prided himself on doing the exact opposite. From teaming up with Westside Gunn and Conway the Machine and ultimately putting them on Donda in 2021, to putting Freddie Gibbs on Vultures, to most recently linking up with the one and only experimental hip-hop titan JPEG Mafia, Kanye West is pushing hip-hop culture forward by allowing some of the most unique and gifted voices in rap today to be featured on some of the biggest records that any rapper could possibly be on. In an industry filled with so much gatekeeping and clout chasing, it's this way that Kanye disregards any of this and only follows his creative spirit that is so refreshing not just to his fans, but to rappers as a whole.
This shit blows my mind. Kanye does what Drake has been doing for the last fucking basically decade. He does it one fucking time and you niggas lose your mind. He does it one time. He brings a few underground rappers on stage, and you niggas lose your mind. This is the thing about Kanye will never learn as a human being because y'all just go ooh and ah at the simplest of shit. It's fucking crazy. Like, it's crazy to me. This nigga does a bare minimum once, and y'all, Ye is so inspirational. He's such a trailblazer. He doesn't care. He'll work with anybody. Drake features with all of these artists that none of y'all know about, and y'all go to whistling. Y'all act like y'all don't see it. Ye team up with some underground rappers alongside a whole bunch of already well-established rappers, and y'all go crazy.
When JPEG Mafia posted a photo with Kanye West this week after ranting about how he was mad that he hasn't been recognized by his favorite rapper yet, I think this moment really said it all. For most rappers who are in...
So, JPEG Mafia had to go on a Twitter rant for Kanye to acknowledge him. I can't recall the last rapper that had to go screaming on Twitter at Drake for him to, give them a chance. I'm just not... I'm not getting it. I'm just not understanding. I just don't get it. Why are we trying to make shit up? Why can't y'all niggas just press the red button and say, we don't like Drizzy? It's a perfectly reasonable thing to say. No one's obligated to like anything
in hip-hop to make genuinely great and impactful music. So many of their dreams has always been to work with Kanye West, and this is another reason why Ye is so beloved by hip-hop culture today. It's crazy to think about, but in a time where the college dropout is about to turn 20 years old, Kanye is now one of the oldest rappers who is still creating music at such a high and publicized level, and with so many artists who are inspired by Ye dominating everything going on at this point, having the chance to work with him is not just a career goal, but for rappers ranging from Lil Uzi Vert to JPEG Mafia, it's been a lifelong dream. So putting all of this into perspective, you can see that the effect Kanye has had on so much of the hip-hop world goes way beyond the superstar status and huge platform he projects other voices through, because his very influence and offerings over the years have inspired everyone from the faces of the mainstream to the most unsung acts in the underground to become the rappers they are today. This is why nearly every single rapper in the game loves Kanye and wants to work with him over everybody else, because no matter what, without albums like Graduation, 808s and Heartbreak, or Yeezus, many of these artists simply wouldn't be here today. And beyond this, every rapper understands that by having the chance to work with Ye, They may just be able to get inspired like Jay-Z did on The Blueprint, or Common on B, or Kid Cudi on Man on the Moon, or Travis Scott on Rodeo, Pusha T on Daytona, or Playboi Carti on Whole Lotta Red, and in turn, just like all of those artists, unlock their full potential. Now, on the contrary to this status that Kanye West holds because of the way he has inspired the culture and because of what he can get out of any given rapper, Drake has nowhere near the same level of admiration or respect over his contemporaries simply because of the way he approaches rapping as a whole. As Kanye progressed in his rap career, his albums only got more out of the box, with the presentation getting way more memorable. Meanwhile, with Drake, with each new album, everyone just felt more safe and more lazy, with no true heart or ambition to it. While Drake's albums always perform amazing commercially, spark viral trends, and dominate the radio and clubs, while they excel in all of these regards, they do not inspire the rappers and peers around him in any meaningful or substantial way, other than to question if they should follow in his footsteps and compromise their artistic integrity and play it just as safe as he does to get more commercial success.
What the fuck is this guy talking about? So let me get this straight. Drake dropped some of the most prolific and memorable pieces of hip-hop music in musical history for a decade straight. It's not just club anthems. These aren't just pop anthems. These are rap songs and R&B songs that people hold close to them. These are classic songs that are played at family functions, possibly even weddings. And as Gen Z and the millennial generation grow older and we start getting married and having kids, these songs will start to pop up more and more at these family functions and events. I promise you this. Because Drake's music isn't overly experimental, which what does that mean? Is it because Drake's not constantly making radically new music every single time he makes an album, it's playing it safe? What if he's found a sound that he enjoys making and wants to make different types of that sound? Or maybe he wants to experiment with that specific sound rather than just going wild and trying to do different things every single time. That doesn't make art any less art of what it is. Like, that doesn't make it any less artistic. Just because something isn't wild and unpredictable every time you receive it does not mean it's not art. Why does CLB have to be drastically and radically different from Dark Lane demo tapes for you to enjoy and respect the art for what it is? Because if I'm being honest, and if we're all being honest, CLB is a much more memorable album than Donda. It is. More people listen to and enjoy CLB, and it has far more replays than Donda. And you can sit there and say, replays don't matter. Well, if the argument is impact, the only way we can test impact is how close people hold the music to them. And if people are constantly replaying CLB more than Donda, then it would only stand to reason whose music is more impactful. Just because your music isn't widely embraced by the masses does not make it more meaningful. Sorry. I know that's like a popular narrative in hip-hop culture. Well, it's not popular. Everybody doesn't like it, so it must be artistic and meaningful. The meaning that you give, the meaning that you give to it is the simple fact that it's not popular. That's the meaning you give to it. Because the popular people and the popular kids don't like the music, it has more meaning to you because everyone doesn't have access to it. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's literally all it is. Certified Lover Boy Looking Back was a great album. And it's also really funny to me that people say that Drake is not experimental. We got an entire dance album called Honestly Nevermind. Why are we acting like Drake is just so predictable? Drake is the only rapper that constantly gives us different types of sounds over and over and over again. We talk about Drake being repetitive and unexperimental. Explain to me how Travis Scott and Playboi Carti are experimental, right? Because their music is not as popular as Drake's. It's all of a sudden experimental by default. So because their music isn't as popular and as loved and as enjoyed by everybody, it must be special and unique and artistic by default. I'm sorry. Part of the reason why no one's been able to get rid of Drake is in part because they're not experimenting enough. They're not messing with different genres of music enough. They're making the same sound, they're making the same genre, but just doing it in different ways, just like Drake. They're just not as good at it as he is. Good enough to earn the admiration and love of everyone around them for whatever reason. They're not as good as Drake at that for whatever reason that might be. But the narrative and argument that somehow or another, all of these other rappers are so experimental and artistic and Drake isn't. What the fuck are y'all talking about? Drake took a risk with Honestly Nevermind and everybody fucking hated it. Everybody shat on it. Everybody despised the album. Now looking back, people like it now. But he took an entire risk. When's the last time Travis Scott made a whole album of something completely different? When's the last time Playboi Carti did that? Or Kanye West? Like, why are we playing this game? Why are we making shit up? Here's the thing about this video we need to talk about. We as a culture need to have this conversation. We really do. We need to have this conversation. Here's what we need to talk about. The reality is, hip-hop as a fan base on the internet for some reason doesn't like Drake. And one of the things that bothers me about our culture on the internet is a lack of gratitude and gratefulness. I need y'all to understand, we're not getting another Drake. There is no next Drake. There is no number 2. There is no replacement. Drake is the last king of hip-hop ever. I'm telling y'all, there has not been a star to replace him. There will not be. A new genre will become the popular genre of music, and someone else will assume the new role of the biggest star. But there is never going to be a new Drake. There's not going to be one. I'm just telling y'all right now. Now, when we talk about why Drake is dissed and disliked by rap legends, we need to admit a few things, first and foremost. Number one, Drake is mixed. This matters in black culture. People will hate on you for being mixed. Whether you're brown skin mixed like me or light skin mixed like Drake, people will hate on you for being mixed. Drake is Jewish, right? He's white, black, he's mixed. Because he is not of an American background nationally, of course ethnically he is. His father's from Memphis, Tennessee. Drake is ethnically American. He's black American. Because Drake is not from the United States and doesn't have an American experience, people also don't like the fact that Drake is the biggest rapper. Drake also grew up in a middle-class background and was an actor on a TV show. A pretty square and soft TV show. He wasn't on The Wire. He wasn't on some hard gangster show. He was on Degrassi. Mixed, light skin, from Canada, soft, was on Degrassi, was a child actor. People don't like him. He doesn't fit the archetype. And it bothers a lot of the old heads in hip hop. The fact that Drake doesn't fit the standard. He doesn't fit the image. It bothers them. It bothered DMX. DMX didn't have any particular reason to dislike Drake. But these dudes hated the fact that someone who was so different from them was coming into the space and dominating it in a way that they didn't know how to. Drake came into the game and said, I don't need to play this machismo image. I don't need to sit there and act like I'm a gangster. I'm a normal guy. I'm going to rap like some cool kid in a club with women and jewelry and cars and clothes and my entourage around me. And I'm going to get vulnerable and talk about my girl issues and my family issues every now and again. And I'll be fine. And it worked. Drake was one of the most vulnerable rappers, if not the most vulnerable rapper in hip-hop history. And it fucking worked. Drake was human. And it fucking worked. Most of these rappers were playing a pure character. It's always funny when I see people say, Drake is a character that Aubrey Graham is playing. Y'all think it's normal to go on every song and rap about shipping coke from coast to coast like Pusha T? Y'all think it's normal to go on every single rap song and rap about being the biggest boss every 5 seconds like Rick Ross? Y'all think it's normal to go on every song and talk about being a god like Kanye West before he went all Jesus? Y'all think that's human. Y'all think that's normal. Y'all think that's like... It blows my mind that as hip-hop fans, you get a rapper who's relatable, more relatable than the rest of them, and you sit there and say, that's a character, that's fake. That's not real. We don't like that. We want the rappers who rap about bullshit, who rap about shit we can't relate to. Go back to rapping about selling drugs and shooting at one another and acting a fool. Go back to that, please. Go back to rapping about being a god. Go back to rap about shit that we can never reach. Rap about shit that we can't relate to, please. It blows my mind that Drake he's one of the most relatable rappers ever, which is why he's so successful. And yet the hip hop fan base as a whole, for some reason, is completely dedicated to invalidating that. Why? Why do y'all have so much hate for a normal nigga? Now, of course, Drake is no longer normal. Drake is like the biggest cool kid on the block. Drake is Drake. Like, he's not normal anymore. But Drake was able to build himself up as an artist because of how vulnerable and relatable his music was. Let's not act like Drake's, heartbreak music was not integral for the growth of artists like XXXTentacion. It's funny that so many people sit there and say Drake jacked X's style. Drake laid down the foundation for emotional sad boy rap. He did. We can talk about 808s and heartbreaks, but Kanye West drifted from that quick. 808s and heartbreak was a moment. Drake's sad boy, down bad, sad boy music has been a defining part of his entire discography. The entire thing. Ye's vulnerability in his music was a moment in time. It was done. He went from being vulnerable to rapping about being a god and I'm Jesus and nobody could tell me nothing and you don't have the answers. We all saw it. I saw it. I was there. Okay? Don't act like it didn't happen. Drake maintained that relatability and yet people still fucking despise him. The reality is Drake came up under that Young Money camp. So already these East Coast, New York, Rockefeller adjusted and affiliated niggas, they already don't like Drake. Because he's coming up under that Young Money, Cash Money, Louisiana, Southern, Rap-A-Lot banner. He's bringing money into that camp. So automatically you have industry rivalry. Then you add in the fact that for niggas like Jay-Z, Drake is a nightmare. If you're Jay-Z and you're the biggest rapper to date, not even Kanye has surpassed you, and this light-skinned nigga from Canada is singing his way and rapping his way to the top and overstepping the boundaries you've laid as the greatest as Hove, of course Jay-Z start panicking. Why y'all think Jay-Z and Swiss Beats and all of them niggas were conspiring to get rid of Drake in 2015? Why y'all think when Meek Mill went after Drake, an entire half of the industry came together and conspired to end Drake's entire career? It didn't work. It didn't work. It failed. It failed partly because of Drake, but an attempt was made. It's always funny to me when we as a culture have selective memory of how all of this shit played out. The idea that somehow or another Kanye West is the underdog and Drake is this industry favorite is not true. If Drake was so formulaic and so dry and so predictable, why is he so successful? The contrast, the inverse is true. Drake has made music that no other rapper has tried to make. No one else has been able to make and Nothing Was the Same. No one else has been able to make, and if you're reading this, it's too late, a Take Care, any of that. None of Drake's music has been properly replicated by anyone. Most of the rappers in the game are predictable. Almost all of them are predictable. Drake was the only one who said, you know what? I'm going to give Afrobeat some shine. I'm going to give UK drill some shine. I'm going to give the UK grime scene some shine. I'm going to give shine to genres of music that Americans don't even fucking listen to because I love music. Kanye West hasn't done that. I'm sorry, it's true. Drake plucked these artists from parts of the world that no one cared about and said, let's work together, let's make music. I'm not going to steal this from you and call it mine. I'm going to work with you and we'll make music together. Kanye West, as Drake was constantly collaborating and building himself up over the 2010s, Ye was doing God knows what. God knows what. Ye was completely cut off from the industry doing his own thing. The idea that somehow or another Drake was the one, segued off and sequestered off and gatekeeping and trying to keep folk out of the game, that's not true. That's not true. My problem is this. Can we please appreciate these rappers while we have them? We did the same thing with Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne rhymes nigga with nigga. Lil Wayne wouldn't have a job if Tupac was alive. Lil Wayne be working at McDonald's if Biggie was alive. Y'all did the same thing to Lil Wayne. And then when his tour bus got shot up and Birdman throwing drinks at him from the top balcony and his dreads falling out, he overdosing on drugs on planes, now y'all love Lil Wayne. So when things stop going so well for Lil Wayne and he's no longer the biggest rapper of all time, now we love you, Lil Wayne. You niggas is sick. Like y'all really are sick. Yeah, bruh. Please, y'all, as a culture, I'm begging y'all. I'm begging us. Can we please appreciate these people while we have them? All of them. Ye, Wayne, Drake, all of them. Please. Please. Stop this, because I've seen this before. When Drake is finally done with his run in hip-hop, y'all are going to be sucking his dick too. Y'all going to be doing tricks on it. I'm trying to tell y'all. I know it's going to happen because this is how y'all act. If something is too popular, you call it predictable, calculated, playing it safe. And if something isn't popular, it's artistic, it's special, it's unique. Stop blaming the OVO camp for coming up with some shit that fucking worked. It's their style, it's their sound. Stop trying to take their sound and their style and say, oh, this is so formulaic and predictable. It's their sound. It just so happened to work. It just so happened to work. Drake even explained it in his interviews many times. When I made Thank Me Later, it was a mostly industry album. It was heavily industry influenced. However, I wanted to bring things home a bit more. I wanted to make a homegrown Toronto album influenced by us with our own sound, our own style, and it worked. It paid off over and over and over again. And this is why I say we as a culture have to chill the fuck out, bro. Y'all are hating on the wrong shit. The nigga had an industry-filled album and said, I don't want to make this formulaic, highly collaborative, industry-influenced album. I want to make something that me and my friends have curated and created for the ears of the public. And it worked. It's his sound. How y'all gonna be mad at a nigga for finding his own style, it becoming popular and cool, and being mad at him for making his sound of music to this day? Y'all are weird. Y'all are fucking weird. Like, y'all gotta stop this shit, bro. This whole, the reason why people love Ye and hate Drake is because Ye is so influential, as if the whole sad boy emo rap music vibe wasn't inspired by Drake. When Kanye was off screaming about how much of a god he was, Drake was still crying in his music. And we conveniently try to act as though Drake's music has not been influential, when it has. It most certainly has. Most certainly. But we're going to act like it hasn't been influential. We're going to pretend that no one's been inspired by Drake because, God forbid, we embrace what's popular. God forbid, we like what everyone else likes. God forbid, we embrace someone who's made it to the top. We've seen this with Lil Wayne. Y'all will hate on a nigga when he's winning, and when he's finally been dethroned, now you have all this love in your heart. It's sick. Why are we like this? Why does Drake have to lose his spot as the #1 rapper in the game for us to finally like him? Why is that necessary? I'm curious. I really am. Why? Why does that have to happen? We as a culture got to stop this shit, because it's not only is it sad, it's sick. It's actually twisted as fuck. And it blows my mind as well that as a culture, we've decided in our minds that Drake is kind of just supposed to sit there and get shat on and not say anything. Fantano making that meme of Drake sending him a cookie recipe, Fantano's been saying other shit about Drake beyond that. Fantano's called Drake a PDF multiple times. Fantano has said that Drake should be investigated for kidnapping because of the song, that song with Future off of Dark Lane demo tapes, Desires. Fantano has said a lot of personally egregious shit about Drake. Drake responds one time and Drake is the villain. It's like y'all have decided if someone is winning too much, fuck that nigga. And it's like, where is this energy coming from? But honest to God, I really get it. And what helped me understand is Kanye West. When Kanye sent that funny ass text message to Drake in 2021, he said, I've been fucked with by nerd-ass jock niggas like you my whole life. You will never recover. In that moment, I knew Kanye. In that moment, I understood why Kanye and Drake had the tension that they do. Kanye's jealous and envious, bro. And the segment of hip-hop that hates Drake so much, that vocal internet voice, y'all are operating from the same perspective. You hate the nigga because he's winning. He's popular, he's successful, he's well-liked, he's not constantly involved in controversy, he doesn't have beef with everybody every 5 seconds. Y'all hate the fact that things are going too well for him because he's so popular. You hate the fact that he's liked. Y'all are the type of niggas where if somebody's... y'all would hate on a nigga in high school on the football team for being liked by the teachers, the girls, for being athletic, for being successful. Y'all would hate on a nigga like that. Nigga ain't did nothing to you, ain't said nothing to you, ain't did nothing wrong to you, but you hate the nigga because he got everything you don't got. Y'all gotta let this dork nerd energy go, bro. I'm telling y'all, bro. Like, it's weird. It's weird. And you know what? To go even further, Kanye West even said, I was cool with making Find Your Love for Drake, but then when he became bigger and bigger and bigger, I had a problem. Kanye West has inferred multiple times that Drake's ascendance in hip hop has bothered him greatly. Kanye West has basically admitted he's been jealous of Drake for quite some time. He's jealous of Drake. He's envious of Drake. He wants what Drake has. And so many other people in the industry feel the exact same way. This is why when Meek went at Drake in 2015, so many different people in the industry formed together and tried to get rid of him. Diddy, Swiss Beats, Jay-Z, all these people gathering behind the scenes conspiring to get rid of Drake. Even Watch the Throne by Kanye West, almost said Drake, Kanye West and Jay-Z was an album meant to stifle the growth of Drake. Imagine you get into an industry you've been dreaming about being a part of since you were a child. And when you make it to the top, people you've looked up to for your entire childhood, people you've worked with, think you have a great relationship with, are conspiring together to get rid of you and end you. To make sure that you and everyone in your camp are gone. Gotten rid of, removed. Ooh, we can finally breathe that OVO camp is gone. This is like, y'all gotta really like take this shit in for what it is and really appreciate Drake. You don't gotta suck the nigga dick. You don't gotta like him. But like when we start making up narratives to try to derail Drake, this shit is corny. This shit is weird. Like honest to God. And like I feel weird because I'm over here defending this nigga, but like somebody has to say it eventually. I see so many Drake hate videos. I might as well be the one to just drop a Drake support video. God knows that nigga needs it. Because every time you turn around, Drake this, Drake that, Drake this, Drake that. But the facts don't support any of the shit that y'all are saying. It just goes to show that y'all just despise the nigga. The Drake dropped Scary Hours 3-pack. I didn't hear hip-hop celebrating Drake, hardcore hip-hop fans celebrating and loving Drake. Instead, people sat there and said nothing. Drake dropped a boom bap rap album and y'all ignored it and act like it didn't happen. Y'all acted like it didn't fucking happen. I know because I saw. I was there. I'm on the internet too. I see what the fuck all the hip hop heads is saying. Y'all sat there and acted like, nah, it's not all that. As if Kanye West is giving y'all bar for bar songs. He's not. He's not. Kanye gets to sit there and give y'all auto-tune bullshit and y'all call him a great rapper. Drake gives y'all multiple boom bap songs over the course of multiple albums, so many rapidy rap songs, and y'all still question whether he's a rapper or a pop star. Y'all truly significantly underestimate how much hate can come from the simplest of things within an industry. When we see old heads hating on Drake like Swiss Beats and Mos Def and all these niggas, bro, it's not because Drake is this pop artist. It's because Drake is a rapper and went further than they ever did, and it bothers them. Imagine you're Jay-Z. You decided, I'm gonna walk away from rap a little bit. I'm cooling, I'm chilling. And this light-skinned nigga from Canada is surpassing you in a shorter time frame than it took you to get to where you are. He's surpassing you. Jay-Z over there panicking. The reality is that these old heads that don't like Drake, it's not coming from some artistic place, bro. Artists, celebrities, they feel envy too. They feel jealousy too. They are bothered by other people's success too. It's not just limited to normal everyday people. They feel the same emotions as everyone else because, surprise, surprise, they're people. The reality is, Drake is a light-skinned actor from Canada who is on Degrassi, who's soft and suburban and proper, and managed to become the biggest rapper to date. And it bothers not only creators, but also fans alike. It bothers them that he's the guy. But you know what's sick about it is, like I said, when Drake's run is up and he finally decides to take a step back, what did he call it, like a graceful exit or whatever? When he finally decides to take a step back, all of these hardcore hip-hop fans, when they no longer have Drake's music to count on, they're gonna go, bam, bruh, I ain't gonna lie, this was a classic, that was a classic, that was a banger, this was a banger. I already know, because y'all did it with Lil Wayne. When shit started going left for Lil Wayne, life wasn't looking so good for Lil Wayne, now y'all love Lil Wayne. As a culture, we are incredibly hateful toward people who are at the top. And it's fucking weird. It is weird. It's weird. The idea that Drake is somehow formulaic or calculated in the sense that his music isn't genuine. Why is it not genuine enough for you? Because it's not, because too many people like it? Is that the defining factor of whether something is genuine or not? Why is it a problem? Why is that a problem? Why is it a problem for someone to make music that people enjoy? It's like, it seems to me that this is just like hipster shit. If too many people like it, it's not real art. You can't win with these niggas until you retire. It's weird. You can't win with this subculture of rap until you stop rapping. It's the weirdest shit I've ever seen. But, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is because, you know, the reality is that Kanye West literally tried to get rid of Drake as well. This nigga sat there and invited Drake over to Wyoming, had that man work on Ye's album, then double-crossed the nigga. Said, oh, yeah, you know, I'm going to give you the Lift Yourself beat. I'm going to give you that, blah, blah, blah. Drake works on this man's album, gets nothing in exchange. The Lift Yourself beat, whoop-de-whoop, scoop-de-poop. Kanye completely double-crossed the nigga. Pusha T drops a story of Adidon, and somehow Drake is still the villain. Kanye himself has taken steps to derail Drake, personally. And yet somehow or another, y'all still don't see the forest from the trees. You still think Ye is the underdog and Drake is this industry giant who is just so fake. When in reality, Drake cracked the code somehow, managed to become the greatest rapper ever, and everyone got uncomfortable, tried to stifle the growth, and it didn't work. That's literally how it happened. I'm just saying, Kanye's a great rapper, amazing artist, one of the greatest artists of all time. But the reality is, Drake came into the game, niggas got uncomfortable, niggas got scared, niggas got bothered, tried to get rid of him. It didn't work. Kanye included Meek Mill, Jay-Z, Swiss Beats, Puff Daddy, all of these niggas, bro, they tried to get rid of him. It didn't work. That's just a fact of the matter, bro. It failed. It didn't work. So as a genre, as a culture, as a genre, we have to stop doing this shit, making up bullshit reasons, and like, it's like, bruh, y'all, every time there's an opportunity to slander Drake, y'all take it. And at a certain point in time, it's like, y'all niggas do realize you're the very thing you fucking hate. Because let's call it what it is. Y'all hate shit that's popular. You hate whatever's cool. Whatever the cool kids like, you hate. Whatever the popular kids like, you despise. Y'all do realize that because it's popular to hate Drake on the internet, that's why you're partaking in it. Because y'all are streaming Drake. Everyone knows everyone's listening to his music. You enjoy his music. He's not coming on the internet slandering Jewish people. He's not coming on the internet slandering slavery. He's not coming on the internet disrespecting people and derailing. He's not doing that. So, like, where is your hate coming from? Where is your lack of respect coming from? It's coming from the fact that he managed to crack the code. He succeeded. That's literally all it is. It's one of the most disturbing, like, hip-hop gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop doing this shit. It's not just a Drake thing, bro. Y'all do this to every nigga that gets too fucking successful. The moment they reach the throne, y'all hate and y'all want to see the nigga fall. Stop that, please. But, you know, honestly, I hate to say this, but, like, it's really this, like, dork nerd subculture of hating on anything that's cool and popular. Like, Kanye gave it away. I've been fucked with by nerd-ass jock niggas like you my whole life. He gave away the whole thing. I'm like, I see what it is. So you gotta hate on the nigga. Like, this shit is weird. Just enjoy the music. And if you don't like it, it is what it is. But to, like, sit here and try to, like, constantly try to shit on the nigga. Like, why are y'all doing that? Like, why? And then, like, for the first time in 14 years, Drake has finally started responding. I don't know why Drake responds to these niggas. Drake has finally decided to start responding to the haters. Now y'all crying, Drake can't even take credit. So the nigga ignores y'all for 13 years, and y'all was living it up. Slandering the nigga left and right. The 14th year of his career, he starts talking shit in return, and now all of a sudden Drake can't take credit. So when Kanye was slamming cameras and I'm a god and you can't tell me none and you ain't got the answers, when you couldn't tell Kanye nothing, y'all loved it. And it's part of the reason why when Kanye today is constantly falling out with everybody in his camp, saying racially hateful shit, constantly fucking his career up, his relationships up, falling out with everybody in his inner circle, his family. Part of the reason why y'all let him do it is because he got in y'all's fucking heads and sat there and said, I'm a god, I'm beyond reproach, you can't tell me nothing, and y'all ate it up and lapped it up. You niggas ain't gods, much less Kanye West, but you loved it. Y'all loved it. Drake gave y'all vulnerable, relatable music, and y'all said, look at this whole ass, lame ass nigga, when in reality, y'all ain't Kanye. You're not some highly blessed, egotistical fucking, no. You're more of a fucking everyman, which is more like a little bit more like Drake. And yet y'all despise that whole vibe and energy. You want something that you can't even really, that ain't even really, you can't even relate to, which is fine. Everyone has their own taste. But to sit there and act like Kanye is somehow or another an artist who can take criticism and is so artistic, and it's like, bruh, stop. Stop. Ye has spent the majority of his career being unable to handle any criticism at all. Like, why are we playing this game? Why are we making shit up to try to shit on Drake? We've all been watching the same story, right? Like, why are we doing this? Why? I don't understand why we as a culture are still playing this weird ass game with Kanye and Drake. It's weird to me. It's just, it's lame. It's dorkish. It's corny as fuck. How Ye can just like continuously engage in crazy behaviors and activities, and y'all will excuse it because it's Ye. But if Drake makes one simple mistake, y'all dogpile him. Why? If Drake fell out with Chubbs and all of these people in his inner circle tomorrow, y'all would say Drake egotistical, Drake this, Drake that. The double standards are insane. And you know what I think it is? It's in part because of how they presented themselves. Drake came into the game highly humble. I'm happy to be here. I'm humble. I'm vulnerable in my music. I'm emotional. I'm just happy to be here. Kanye, around the same time Drake came in, became a lot more egotistical, a lot more bold, a lot more cocky. And he still hasn't 100% shed that skin. He's still a little bit of that same guy. Drake, however, has grown into this more confident, braggadocious, sometimes disrespectful. He's gotten real disrespectful. In the last year and a half, Drake has been a lot more disrespectful. He's grown into this, like, ultra, I guess what Kanye, ultra jock, like this jock ass nigga. And I guess it bothers these, like, Ye, Gibbs, JPEG Mafia type fans. Like, it bothers them. But this like hip hop internet subculture thing is really just nerds versus jocks. And it's corny as fuck. Why can't we just acknowledge Drake's accomplishments for what the fuck they are, instead of trying to constantly derail the shit? Anyway, it is what it is. It is what it is. Hip hop culture. This is the one thing I don't like about us, is that we don't appreciate what we have until it's gone. We don't. We slander until it's too fucking late. Then the nigga's done with making music and now y'all love Drake. Same thing with Lil Wayne. The moment he was done making music, y'all love Lil Wayne. Predictable. I'm telling y'all it'll be the same thing. Once Drake's run is up, they're gonna love Drake too. Because this subculture of hip hop is all about whatever's popular, we don't like it. Because these niggas still have high school trauma they haven't gotten over yet. Same thing as Ye. The shit is weird. But I disagree with this video. I don't want a whole fucking rant about this shit, but I just don't like this dogpiling shit. I don't like this bullying shit. I don't like it, bro. I don't like when niggas try to dogpile and bully a nigga and make up narratives and try to discredit a nigga's accomplishments because y'all, like, bruh, because y'all got these high school dynamics in your brain where you can't accept that someone's just successful and popular. Let that shit go. Let that hate out y'all's hearts, bro. It's weird. But it is what it is. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.